was all good just a few weeks ago. Jackson State had decided that they were going to play in the Southern Heritage Classic, but now all of a sudden, the owner of the Southern Heritage Classic wants to sue the SWAC, Coach Prime, and Jackson State. Guys, what in the world is going on here? This is crazy. But you know what? You know, Coach had to go ahead and dig in a little bit to get some information for y'all to shed some light on what we got going on here. Y'all know this, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. You know it's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you like, share, and follow. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like, share, and comment, and tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes over here. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on social media. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and tap on in this thing and get straight to it. You missed out on the previous video where I talked about the business that was being done from the vantage point of the Southern Heritage Classic as far as the amount of money that both of these institutions have been paid over the 28 years for participating in the Southern Heritage Classic. You missed a treat. You want to go check that video out as well. And what I'll do is I'll leave that video listed in the description so that you can go ahead and click on that video and check that one out as well, because I'm telling you, this one is an eye-opener for you to see, like, wait a minute, is this guy for real about what he's got going on here? Because we already seen this has become public opinion. This is already being tried in the public for everyone to understand and draw their line in the sand and say, hey, I'm on this side or I'm on this side. But you know what? Coach Walker just going to go ahead and dive on in and give it to you straight and uncut so you can understand exactly what's going on. The owner of the Southern Heritage Classic decided he wanted to try Jackson State not playing in the Classic, an issue with the public for it to become a public opinion to where you was going to try to turn the screws to let the people try to force Jackson State to continue to keep playing in the Classic. That was one thing. That right there, you kind of messed up a little bit. The fact that I wanted to know who is really benefiting from this. You know, who's really benefiting from this matter, because there's nothing wrong with what he wanted to do, but the problem is the lack of information being shared. It's all of a sudden there's so much information that's being leaked all over the place. And the one thing that really gets me about all of this is the fact that you hear Jackson State say one thing and then they're quiet. And all of a sudden you continue to keep getting more and more and more from the Southern Heritage Classic side, where they're still trying to put this out here, public opinion, so that they can force the issue as far as what's going on. Well, you know what? I got a question for everybody here. Did you hear anything from any of the Power 5 schools that, did you hear any, excuse me, not the Power 5 school, but did you hear anything from any of the bowl games, the people that was hosting the bowl games, suing any of these Power 5 schools that decided that they didn't want to play in those bowl games because of the pandemic that was going on? I don't think we heard about it. I don't think we heard of any of that going on, correct? So my question to you is, how in the world do we go from Power 5s not being sued by the owners of these bowl games to an owner of a Classic wanting to sue a team that they stated earned $6 million over 28 years? Does that make any sense to you? I'm trying to figure this one out myself. I'm still 28 years, $6 million. Y'all help me out with that. Does those numbers add up to anything for you? I'm like, does it help you get where I'm coming from? No? Yes? Maybe so? Okay, hold on. Whoa. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Now, I respectfully, like I said, I respectfully understand where both sides are coming from with Coach, with Jackson State saying they don't want to play, and the Southern Heritage Classic is wanting Jackson State to continue to keep being a part of the Classic. But you know what? The one side that we haven't got is the truth. And the truth comes from putting them books out there for the world to see. I mean, if you're going to try this situation with public opinion, trying to get everybody to pull to your side, left or right, then how about we put them numbers out there and let the world see those itemized lines as far as what went in, what came in, what went out, where did it go to, who did it go to, so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? Because you got to remember one thing. The Classic has not always been played between Jackson State and Tennessee State. There was a year there where you had Jackson State played Mississippi Valley State. Tennessee State played Mississippi Valley State. Tennessee State played Grambling. So I'm just throwing it out there so that everybody understands that part as well. Because I'm wondering how in the world is FedEx a sponsor of the Southern Heritage Classic? And in 2021, they donated $1 million to Tennessee State, Jackson State, and some other HBCUs in Mississippi. Now, again, FedEx is the Classic sponsor, correct? Like I said, I'm just here waiting to see all the numbers drop so that the public can give a true response on what's been going on for the past 28 years. Yeah, them a lot of numbers you got to show, brother. Yeah. So I got a hold of the lawsuit. Shout out to Mr. Stephen J. Gaither over at HBCU Game Day, who shared the link of the lawsuit from Action 5, who was able to obtain the documents. Now, the lawsuit is crazy. Looking at a few things where the SWAC is being sued for supposedly scheduling a game on the same weekend of the Classic that would allow Jackson State and their SWAC opponent to make double the amount that Jackson State were getting paid for playing in the Southern Heritage Classic. Here I said allegedly, right? Is that game scheduled for this season? No. Okay. Let's keep going. The question I have here, were those numbers accurate, or were they put out there to further show the Southern Heritage Classic didn't care about Jackson State? They cared about the gains of what Jackson State was bringing to the table from the Classic fans, the pageantry, the bands, and the fellow alumni from other HBCUs in the area that was coming to Memphis to watch this game between JSU and TSU play. That's all I want to know. Now, the last thing in the lawsuit, where you're wanting to know, the last thing in the lawsuit that really blew me away is the fact that he's wanting to sue Coach Prime because Coach Prime said that the Southern Heritage Classic in an Instagram post wasn't profitable. Well, Mr. Southern Heritage Classic guy, he's right. Look at everything that they're bringing to the Classic. Again, that's bringing you additional gains. That's bringing more money into Memphis. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, if Jackson State is staying at a hotel, one of the sponsoring hotels, or one of the hotels that you have set up for them to go to, I'm sure you're getting a kickback on the money that Jackson State is cutting that check for the rooms of all of those individuals that staying at that particular facility. So it seems like to me we got a little double dipping going on. Like I said, where them books at? Let's show them lines out there. Let's show those itemized lines of everything that came in and what went out. Because again, none of this is really making sense, because these absurd numbers that you're putting out there, you want to sue for what? 1.8 million and another 5 million for this? I'm like, wait a minute, really? So basically you want to starve out Jackson State from making any money that's going to go back into their university, or go back into their program. You want to starve them out from getting that money because you want all the money. Basically, that's the same policy and procedures that you've been running with since the beginning of time. And what ended up happening in this instance was somebody finally sat down, slapped the table and said, bull jive. And now you upset because it got exposed. That's why it was taken to the public, for the public to see exactly what's going on. But I got more. I got more. So in the instance of where Coach Prime was talking about Jackson State, what Jackson State has to do in order to bring all of the necessary things to the Classic, in order for this Classic to be a Classic, which the Classic has made substantial amount of money over the years, you're saying that that's incorrect on what Jackson State is saying? How are you able to say what they're bringing to the Classic in which you're making the money off the Classic? Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers that have been garnered every year that Jackson State and Tennessee State have played one another in this Southern Heritage Classic. The numbers don't lie, especially coming in through the door. Remember, you stated yourself that Jackson State was getting $2 per ticket. Right. So again, I'm asking the question, where the books? Let's see the books. Now, this is the other thing. This has been going on now for 28 years. And I almost said 29, but the 29th year has not happened yet. And listening to someone say that a university made $6 million in 28 years, like that's a substantial amount of money to really do something. I mean, for anyone to sit and utter a phrase that you've paid a university $6 million over 28 years, like that's some real money, to that university that's traveling the longest to participate in the Classic, to sit and say you gave them an opportunity to make money for the university when they were on hard times. See, again, I'm back to looking at the itemized lines as far as where the money's coming in and where the money's going out. Because what I'm gathering here is you've grown accustomed to Jackson State bringing you Kobe steak while you're giving them bologna sandwiches with no mustard or mayo. I mean, let's be real here. Jackson State, these folks want you to get your hands out their pockets, because this isn't fair that the SWAC came up with a way to generate more money for the SWAC teams, allegedly, in a SWAC Classic. That includes Jackson State. See, the Southern Heritage Classic owners, if y'all haven't learned yet, Jackson State has learned how to make a rabbit poke his head out the ground and expose himself. Guess what, Southern Heritage Classic? They just did it to you again. But until next time, like the content, please make sure you like, comment, and follow. And also remember, be the one and lead.